This is Cheryl with socalaquaponics.com, and I recently redid the greenhouse. Last summer I had surgery on my hands and had them in casts. At the time my heater sunk to the bottom of my liner, melted a hole in my liner, and I lost all my fish. And with both hands being in casts at one point or another during this time, I was unable to effect any repairs until recently, and I just tore everything apart and redid. So I don't know if the last update this showed as a float bed or a flood and drain tub, but it's a flood and drain tub now with strawberries. And as usual, it seems like the bare root strawberries, if they have leaves showing, they do just fine, and if they don't have any leaves showing, they don't want to come up. And I've had this happen in my garden as well as in here, so I'm not sure what's going on with the bare root strawberries. This is the bell valve for my flood and drain system, and this is the way that is set up. With a larger orifice at the top, seems to make it the suction work much better in here, and so I'm very happy with that change that I had made in here. Currently the tank has some feeder goldfish in it and a rather obnoxious cichlid that's been chasing all my cichlids around in my cichlid tank. Last year on the sides of this greenhouse I had these buckets, and my problem was these buckets started cracking. So I went ahead this year and used my play money and made wooden grow beds. Now inside I bought a pond liner for the big tank and redid that. For the grow beds I just used some heavy mill black plastic. That probably was a mistake. I probably should have waited until I had the extra money and bought the pond liners, but if that's the case I'll replace it with liners later. This is my asparagus, and underneath the gravel, the asparagus heads are nice and thick, so I should be able to get asparagus harvest this year. I just put in 3 small tomato plants that are already doubled in size, and these are my pineapple from last year, and they kind of had a real rough time because there was no water flow in the tubs for a while, and so I don't know if they're going to make it or not. But that's on this side. Now the other side, I just went ahead and just made a smaller tank. This one here is 2 foot by 2 foot by 1 foot, and this one is 2 foot by 18 inches. Excuse me, it's 18 inches by 1 foot by 1 foot, because if I'd have done 2 by 2 I'd have had a much narrower walkway in here. And this has a couple of mud catfish in it, a couple of tilapia that actually survived in my pond over the winter. I couldn't believe it. I put tilapia in there a couple of years ago and was quite surprised to find a couple of tilapia still in there. And there's a goldfish in here. I'm going to be planting lettuce down into these 2 float trays. Up here I have some more tomatoes that are going to go out into my regular garden, and I have some herbs. I've got some lemon, mint, and I think that's English thyme over there. But this is my, I'm drawing a blank at the moment, water chestnuts. And they were in the tubs that were on this side last year, and I just put them up here, and I didn't fill it full of gravel. I just put a little gravel, just enough to hold the chestnuts in place. And this seems to be doing just fine, and of course this is just that heavy mill black plastic again. So that's all that there is there. We'll cut a little vent here, and I hooked that up to a drain pipe here, but it does leak around the side of the drain pipe a bit. I didn't have a long enough one to take it all the way down, and so I did the black plastic as kind of a tent there. And so this is what the greenhouse looks like now, and I'm much happier with it. I got to do a little bit of playing around with my flood and drain system over here. If I have it go all the way down, it creates a suction and continues drawing water from the tank until my grow bed here is overflowing. So at the moment I just have it like this. I have in my head already how I'm going to change that, and just waiting for a little extra money so I can go down and buy the PVC that I need, because I'm going to run an uptake tube and then just the elbow and a small piece going into that uptake tube, so that it doesn't create that suction that goes all the way down to the bottom. But there it is, and my little bit of wet cement from the splatters, which means that I have to refill this side every so often. And I do have a heater in there for those catfish. As I was draining that pond slowly and the water level started dropping, I noticed a little fungus on a couple of the catfish. But here is the greenhouse, and we'll see what it looks like in a month or so when things really get growing in here. And you guys have a great day, and happy aquaponics.